Are you someone that's looking to get into real estate investing? Or maybe you have a few units, but you haven't decided or committed to a property management system and you're wondering if you even need one? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be going over the websites that I use to manage my 4-unit portfolio and kind of give you the details of how much they are, the in and outs, the goods and bads, and all that stuff. So let's get right into it. With you clicking on this video, I'm going to be under the assumption that you're probably thinking to yourself, do I even need a property management system, especially if I'm just starting out with a small number of units? And my answer to this is yes, absolutely you should get a property management system, because I believe you should get your real estate investing career off on the right foot, meaning that you actually set up your systems correctly when you're small and when you're not super overwhelmed because you have a ton of things going on. With that being said, I don't think it's a necessity that you get a property management system just to go buy a piece of real estate and actually have a tenant. I don't think it's a must-have. But again, if you're starting this on the right foot, you're just going to set yourself up for future success. When you do grow and grow and grow, your portfolio can just follow those systems that you built with the first thing. And then you can kind of just figure out, work the kinks out, and as you expand, you just get even better with your systems and learn how it works. Because this way, you'll set yourself up to be a successful landlord, have a good running business, have it organized in all your records in one place, as opposed to all these landlords that are kind of the mom and pop type deals, the smaller ones that don't take it as seriously. Half of them don't even screen the tenants. They get mad that rent isn't getting paid. On the other hand, they have no records because they don't keep a track of any of that stuff. Down the road, they become a slumlord, and then they swear that real estate investing is the worst thing ever. So let's avoid you becoming that and set this up from day one the right way. So the first question, what sites do I use? Now I actually use 2 sites to manage my 4 units. And you might be wondering that seems like a bit much, because one of them handles the actual part of collecting rent, placing tenants, and having the tenants pay the rent there. And then the other one is more the back end stuff of tracking expenses and getting all the paperwork needed for tax time and all that stuff. So the first website I use is actually apartments.com. And again, this is the one where I list vacant units, I screen the tenants, I collect rent through that website. And the other website I use is called renttechdirect.com. And they are more the back end stuff, where I am linking my bank account, tracking my expenses, tracking the rent that comes in, my income and expenses, of course, and then I'm easily able to pull all the stuff I need at tax time in a nice little PDF so I can send it to my tax guy and he can do what he needs to do. Now, I just want to say I'm not affiliated in any way. There might be links down below in the description if I find some. If you do want to sign up using my link, I'd be greatly appreciative of that, but they have not reached out or anything to me. I do want to say that apartments.com is free, or at least the version I have is free. There is a paid version. I'll explain that later. And then Rent Tech Direct is $45 a month. This I just found out when I was making this video, because prior to that it was $35 a month. So we'll see if I keep with this one, but I'm going to explain how it is and why I use it. Now I'm going to go over kind of my thoughts on the system, what the benefits are and what my complaints are after using them for the past about 4 to 5 years being a landlord. So first I'm going to speak on apartments.com. Again, I use the free version of this and I think it's absolutely great for being free. I use it again to list vacant units, to screen the tenants, to place the tenants, to add the lease and collect all the rent payments. So that is like my workhorse of the actual one that kind of goes to the customer. And the reason I like it so much is because it's easy interface to learn for me and for the actual tenant. Because when I have, say, like a vacant unit I go to list on apartments.com, the applicant can just go right to the website and click fill out application. They fill out all their information. They can put in their background and credit check and pay for all that right there. And then I just get a simple email saying someone, whatever their name is, Bob, he applied to your apartment. You open up the email, you go through it all, you see their application, you see their background, their credit check and all that. And the nice part about this is you don't have to collect money from the applicant yourself. The applicant just pays for it on the website at apartments.com. As the landlord, you don't get any of that. That is just goes to apartments.com to actually run the background check and credit check, and I'm sure they have their little splice to actually make some money, because again, this is a free thing to use the way I use it. And then once you actually find the tenant you want, all you do is you place them in your unit, you add the lease that they have, and you guys sign together. You set up the payments for what the rent is. And then on the other side, the renter can just go right in, link their bank account directly to apartments.com and set it up so they can just pay monthly, or they can even opt in to just have auto payments directly taken out of their bank account the first of each month, which is awesome. Now, my only gripe that I have with apartments.com, and it's a super small gripe, is because I use the free version, rent takes a little bit to actually get into your bank account. I believe it takes up to 5 days from the day they pay it. So if they paid it on the 1st, you might not see it until the 6th. And if you have weekends or holidays in there, it can delay it a little bit. So it really depends. If you want to have that advance, you can always do the paid version. I'm not sure how much that is, but I'll put the number right here. And that will, I believe, get you. Now to speak on Rent Tech Direct. And again, not associated with these companies at all. And this website, I'm going to be honest with, it's not my favorite. It's a pretty annoying interface to learn. There's been a ton of improvements since I first started using it a few years ago. They have been getting better and better with it, but it still just kind of feels sluggish, a little bit old. It does what it needs to do for me though with the back end stuff. And once you actually learn this way to put in your bank account, track expenses, sync your bank account, and actually do all that stuff, it's a good system. Like, it actually builds everything in, and it has a great way to actually like grow your portfolio, and it's really organized and all that way. But the reason I don't like it, again, it just feels kind of clunky. And once you have everything set up, if you keep tracking it monthly, everything seems like it works good. And it's super easy to just get the income and expenses right from that website that you can just download to a PDF and send to your tax person. So that makes it super simple. Now, I'm going to go into the bad sides for this. And now my gripe with this one's probably a little bit on me, honestly, not really the website. But I'm still going to say it anyways because it happens a few times. And it's just an annoying thing to happen. So sometimes, since I only have 4 units and I live in one, so I'm renting out 3 units, I'm very aware of my expenses and my income because there's only so much stuff I spend money on and only so many people who can pay me rent. So I don't really have to go in here every single month and be super diligent about being monthly with it. So sometimes I'll go 3 to 4 months and then just go in, catch up with tracking expenses and my income, making sure everything looks good and all that. But the pain in the butt with this one is sometimes I'll go in for not 3-4 months and then I go to sync my bank account to my Rent Tech Direct account and it says my bank account has been disconnected and can't sync. So there'll be like this big period of time, like 2-3 months, of not actually tracking my income and expenses. And I've found ways to actually resync it and all that, but I've spent hours trying to figure this out some days, and it's just a pain in the butt. Now, again, this is probably on me. If I just went in monthly diligently and kept doing it, take the 10 minutes it takes to do it every month, I don't think I'd have the problem. But I just want to make you aware that if you let it go for a little bit, it can be a problem and it might disconnect your bank account, which is just a pain in the butt because I've had to like download it from my bank, put it in manually, and it's just been a whole annoying thing. But again, it could have been avoided. So those are the 2 sites I use to manage my 4 rental units. And again, I love apartments.com, great website. I highly suggest it for anyone that's needing to list. Again, sometimes I'll list on like Facebook Marketplace and then just put the links to apartments.com so they can click on that and then they fill out the applications through apartments.com. So I'm not actually having to print out paper applications. I don't have to have someone give me a $35 check so I can go find a background and credit check website to put their info in. It takes care of all that and it's free. So it's awesome. Now, Rent Tech Direct, as you can see, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's doing what it needs to do right now. I might try finding a different thing just because, again, especially now that it went up $10, I was cool with it at $35, but now at $45, I'm like, there's probably a better solution for me. So if I do find that, I'll give you guys an update of what I use then, but this is my current setup. And again, I've set up my systems very well. Like I said, I can go 3 months or so without actually going in and tracking it because I know what's happening. I'm pretty aware with all my stuff, so that's the good part. Let me know what you guys use, if it's anything different. Maybe I haven't heard of something or seen something on the interwebs. So put those down below in the comments. And if you've gotten value from this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys next week.